That was in September of 1942.
83 years ago, in these very waters on the eastern shore of China, the Lisbon Maru was torpedoed and began to sink to the bottom of the sea. The Japanese soldiers fired at British soldiers desperately trying to escape. Brave fishermen from Zhoushan risked their own lives to successfully rescue 384 British prisoners of war. The fate of these British soldiers was almost a forgotten chapter in the war. Even in their homeland of Britain, the story was not well known until a Chinese documentary film burst on the scene. For the British, this is the first time they've seen this story on the big screen. All of this is thanks to Chinese director Fong Li, who spent 10 years and invested 50 million yuan to bring this story to the screen.
So I'm really honored, to be a storyteller about your family.
Almost no one knows about it, and it's a very, very important incident. And when Fang Li contacted me to say he was making the film, I was absolutely delighted, and I wanted to do everything I could to help him make the film and bring the story to life, so that people all over the country, and indeed all over the world, could hear about it.
Before watching this film, I had no idea about this connection between these British prisoners of war and this remote Chinese island, and how these villagers really stepped up in a time of need. This is a story that's just so powerful. It's told with dignity, heart, and most of all, it's a story about truth.
Two months later, I met him in his Beijing studio. He told me the biggest challenge was to trace those survivors because this incident was almost completely forgotten.
They are forgotten. They are all the families, they never connected. Now 600 families connected.
Wow.
They have a group.
Wow.
Because our advertisement, you see this advertisement?
Yes, yes. Amazing.
Crazy Chinese came over here and got in for 5 weekends, full page.
Wow.
So that's why it was really, it worked.
It was so great because you actually found a survivor through doing the advertisement.
At first, Fong Li found the search for eyewitnesses frustrating. Few Westerners were aware of what happened to the Lisbon Maru. Fong Li and his team spent nearly 9 years searching for the truth for the 2,071 British families, bringing this long submerged history to light and sharing these forgotten stories with the world.
每天我们都在眼泪中间度过的，每一个家庭你去采访，都是让人心碎的故事。就这种战争下面，我们每一个渺小人物的惨烈的命运被历史遗忘了，所有的生命就这样的消失了。你一辈子都忘不了他们的泪眼，他们的哽咽，他们的唏嘘，他们的悲伤，它永远长在你脑子里。
Professor Hans van de Ven from Cambridge University is a renowned authority on Chinese history. For him, it's no surprise that the pivotal role China played in the Second World War is largely missing from Western narratives.
The Second World War in China by a previous generation of Western historians was seen as sort of completely insignificant. I think there's a real Eurocentrism to Western, and I mean English language writing mostly from the US and the UK, where it's very victor-centric, claiming a moral superiority because of what their great-grandfathers did.
在今天我们来回顾80周年的时候，回顾这个事件是有意义的。至少中国军民在自己这么艰难困苦的时候，仍然是不顾一切去协助盟军。
Behind those names, there are sons, daughters, wives, brothers, and sisters. While Feng Li followed faint traces through the fog of history, those British families felt a pull towards the stories long silenced, towards memories of their loved ones resting beneath the tides of the East China Sea. This is Dongji Island in China. Where descendants of the British and Chinese survivors of the Lisbon Maru rescue have arrived. And Denise Nguyen is here for the gathering.
It was exactly his grandfather.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
The
yeah.
3 British POWs, right exactly here.
Wow. 藏在这下面，
Exactly right.
就最早回去的就那个3个。
The 3 British POWs who came back in the first batch.
I think the Chinese fishermen who looked after them and fed them and kept them clothed and kept them until they were able to escape, I think they were just incredible people. They were very, very brave.
This year marks the 80th anniversary of the victory of the World Anti-Fascist War. We gather here on Lisbon Island, united by compassion and remembrance, to unveil the memorial for Dongji Fishermen's rescue of British prisoners of war.
Hello, everybody, and I'm the daughter of Dennis Morley, 1st Battalion, the Royal Scots. He was the last survivor of the sinking of the Lisbon Maru until his death in 2021, aged 101 years.
In May of 2022, Denise wrote a letter to the President of China, expressing her desire to establish a monument to commemorate the brave Chinese fishermen and celebrate the deep friendship between the peoples of China and the United Kingdom. 3 months later, she was honored to receive a reply from President Xi.
I was thrilled. Today, alongside the monument, feels surreal, and I am pleased that it will be here for future generations to learn from, and also to celebrate the friendship between the Chinese and British people.
I kept thinking my daddy was coming home and he didn't. My mother used to say, he might be on the next